right, everybody, welcome back for orientation part 2. We're taking a look at course recommendations and expectations. It's an online class, so obviously high-speed internet and a laptop or tablet, which I'm sure most of you have one provided by the high school, is required. There is no English prereqs. You will find at some colleges, college-level English is required to take courses like this. This is a college transfer level course. But there are no English prereqs for Merced College for Social Sciences. But we do recommend that you have taken English 1A. It's not an absolute, but it definitely does make things easier. There's a lot of writing, particularly on the discussion board assignments, and then you do have a college level paper, 3 to 4 pages double spaced that's due that you have to provide citations. MLA is fine, but you need to do both in-text citations and then also a works cited page. Again, not impossible, but if you haven't done that before, you may need a little extra help. And I can help. There's also tutoring services and a writing lab that Merced College has. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'm more than willing to review rough drafts, right? But you're going to be doing a lot of analyzing, synthesizing. That means taking information from various sources and putting it together in a cohesive, meaning understandable, easy to follow essay format, and paraphrasing, citing your sources. So all those things are skills that you will need for this course. Also, Instructor Expectations. About 70% of your learning in college is done outside of class. And most of that's done through reading. So you have to read, and then read some more. So for a 3-unit class, you're looking at 3 to 5 hours of homework, and then also lecture about 2.5 hours a week, sometimes a little bit more. So in total, 8 to 9 hours for a 3-unit class, right? If you're taking more than that, and then you're trying to do high school classes on top of it, that's a pretty heavy lift. So I do want to make sure that you are prepared that a lot of the learning you'll be doing on your own, and that you may find you need to read the book multiple times, and you may need to engage with the reading. Passive reading, that means just kind of reading it without taking any notes or anything. A lot of that times that doesn't stick very well. And so annotating, writing a chapter outline as you read, you got to do something to force your brain to engage with the reading so that you will retain what you're reading a little bit more. Also, very helpful to read the book before you listen to me yakety yak in the lectures, because more of what I say will make sense, and you'll also, again, retain it better if you have read the book. The book provides kind of like a basic foundation, and then as you're listening to the lecture, you're plugging into that foundation that you already have, right? Think of it like trying to teach your grandma or your great-grandma how to use a smartphone if they've never used one before. It's very hard to do. But if you have used smartphones for your whole life, you have a foundation to plug into, and no matter what kind of smartphone you pick up, you're usually pretty adept at it pretty quickly, right? So it's that reading that provides that foundation, okay? Guidelines and etiquette for online discussions. I'd like you guys to read through these on your own. Colleges, we don't normally read through course syllabi, through the entire thing. That's, responsibility you have now as young adults. But generally speaking, in the online discussions, you need to treat them as a college level assignment. So that means check your grammar, cite your sources, and then also treat your peers with respect. And when you're doing your responses, the responses are not peer reviews. They're not like thumbs up, you have a great writing style. They're meant to be actually collegial, I shouldn't say collegial, but collegiate rather, college level discussions about the course material that we're reading. And so we need to be open-minded. We need to be focused on academic critical thinking. We need to cite our sources, and we need to treat one another with respect, right? Okay, Zoom etiquette. We don't do the live synchronous Zoom. So This doesn't pertain so much to your course because these are pre-recorded classes, but if you do pop in for an office hour or some sort of study session, please make sure that you stick to these rules, and the policies. Accommodations. So if you have any sort of high school accommodations, you'll definitely want to check with our DSS office to see if those transfer over to the college. So that can be like extended test times. Sometimes it's 1.5 times or double times the normal test time. So again, if you have any sort of documented accommodations, please make sure to reach out to those 2 phone numbers that I listed. Academic misconduct. So the big one that I usually see in the online classes is obviously plagiarism, right? Copying and pasting. And that sometimes is previous students' work that's been turned in, and then sometimes it's copying and pasting from various internet sources. Just don't do it and you won't have an issue. Do your own work, cite your sources, read the book, use the course material, and you'll be fine. You'll notice that the weekly discussion questions are very similar to what I ask on the essay exams. The essay exams are open book, open note, but I do not allow you to use any, I'm going to repeat myself, I do not allow you to use any outside sources. No history.com, no Khan Academy, nothing like that can be used in those open book, open note essay exams. So what I mean by to warn you is if you do that, you'll get a 0 on the essay exam. And then also, it's best not to use those outside sources on the weekly discussion homework because those weekly homework build to that essay exam, and you don't want to be having to try to figure out what information you got from what source so that you don't end up with a 0 on the essay exam. It's best just to stick to the course material, and then you won't have to worry about it. Also make sure, again, that you cite your sources, that if you're paraphrasing information in your own words, you still provide a source citation, and that you are careful not to try to pass other people's work off as your own, okay? If you are caught plagiarizing, that's blatantly copying and pasting the work of others, that's an automatic 0 on the exam or the discussion or analysis paper. Any sort of exam or assignment that I find it on, it's an automatic 0. Okay. Sexual misconduct, hopefully won't have any issues with that, but we do have a defined policy in a process for either reporting it if you're the victim of sexual misconduct or if you witness it. So please be aware and check out the link. Hopefully you won't have to. Drop policy. This one's kind of tough. Particularly I've found for the CCAP classes, because a lot of students are not aware that they have the ability to drop themselves from the course. You are in a college level course. That means we are treating you like an adult, and I can drop you for failing to participate, and you also can drop yourself. So please be aware of that. There are last dates to drop. I will email those out. But if you do not complete the introduction post, I reserve the right to drop you. And if you have excessive absences, that's failing to log in at least once a week, or skipping more than 2 consecutive back-to-back discussion assignments, I reserve the right to drop you from the course. So you'll definitely want to check in with me if you run into issues or need to be gone for any extended period of time. All that said, don't rely on me to drop you. If you don't want to take the course anymore, or you decided that it's not for you, or you're afraid you're going to fail it, or whatever your reasons are, you want to make sure that you don't rely on me, but that you take care of that yourself and drop. Because if you're in the class past the last date to drop, that means you will get a grade. And obviously, if you've not been participating, then most likely that will be an F. And it will be there on your permanent college transcript. So definitely want to make sure you are treating this like what it is, which is a college level permanently on your record class, okay? Late work policy. Generally, I don't do extensions on the weekly discussions, and that's because I allow you to skip any 2 discussions of your choosing. So if you've got a week that you've got lots of, maybe high school sports games going on, and other final exams and other classes, I don't know, whatever life throws at you, if it gets overwhelming, you've got 2 weeks where you can skip this assignment. So I try, unless there's some extenuating circumstances, not to give any extensions outside of that, because I already give you those 2 graces. If you do need short extensions though for the multiple choice quizzes or for the essay exams, you do need to have a legit reason why, but I do sometimes give short 1 or 2 day extensions on those. Okay, so that's it for this section. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, call, email, text, right? I'm here to help you guys. Weekends are fine too. I'm usually working at least a couple hours every weekend, if not more. The next section of the orientation will go over the syllabus at the basic outline. I was having some problems with it not formatting correctly, and so I just put an extra link to the syllabus in that next section. So you can go through, you can look at all the holidays, and then underneath there I actually have the schedule for the entire semester per week. So what is due on what days. And so you'll notice that I try to stick to the same due dates. So the quizzes are due Saturdays, discussions are due Sundays. Quizzes Saturdays, discussions Sundays. Quizzes Saturdays, discussions Sundays, right? So it's pretty much the same thing through the whole thing. And then also the essay exams are usually due on Sundays. If I find that doesn't work, if I need to change it up to like a Monday or Tuesday because it's too much to have 2 things due on a Sunday, you guys can email me and we can talk. We can have a class announcement where I switch that up. But for now, it's there's 4 exams and they're always due on a Sunday, except for the last one. The last one will be during final exam week, and most likely I'll make that due on the Thursday, a final exam. That's probably what I'm going to shoot for that one. So you can look through those on your own. Right? If you have any questions, what can you do? Call me, email me, text me, drop in during Zoom hours. You guys have lots of different ways to ask questions, and please make sure you do so. Don't get frustrated. I'm a phone call away. All right. So you're gonna read through that, and then you'll click to next, and then you'll click on next again, and you'll have one more orientation video where we go over what your grade is, or how the grade is made up, I should say. What your grade is really up to you, but what goes into the final grade for this course.